Jackie, come and do this. Me, because I was like, if I were to be in my mom's house, I'm a queen, I'm a princess. Just small arguments. No, I take my bag where I don't left. Money to even buy airtime, because I don't even get it. This is your girl SHEJACKIE says, and you're all welcome back to the SJS vlog, where we talk about fashion, lifestyle, and entertainment.
FJ.
So today,
with the strength of a woman, SHEJACKIE says. With the power of a woman, SHEJACKIE says. Everywhere she goes,
what's poppin', SJS family? It's your favorite girl SHEJACKIE says, and today we are going to be doing a story time. Y'all, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave a comment below, don't forget to share this to your friends. Story time, story. Why am I even singing? I've never done a story time before, so this is actually my first story time. I hope you guys like it. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how I ran away from home at the age of 17 years. Alright, so but before I continue, first of all, that was the first time I ran away from home. When I was 5 years, I ran away from home, but there isn't much details to that. But I want to finish when I ran away from home when I was 17 years. So guys, get your popcorn, get your Coke, get anything you want to take. I'm going to be spilling all the tea, all the juice, all the beans, all the fufu, all the fufu.
Stop it. Get some help.
So it happened after high school. I completed high school. Most of you all know where I went to school. I wouldn't really give my details because it is not needed. You all want to know why I ran away from home. After school, I went to stay with my mother. I don't really want to delve in there, but we had a few differences. And as at that age, I was a teenager, like 17. So just imagine. If anyone has been through that phase before, there's a saying in my language that penny no bin ye bida, but our Friday will be a bida. At that age, you feel you're on top of the world. After school, you feel like you're all grown up because you're going to the university, so like you're your own boss. You don't want to listen to advice from the elderly, and that is one of the phases in my life that I've always regretted. So I was with my mom. I had left my dad's, and most of you who knew me knew I was staying with my dad for a long time. So I never stayed with my mom before. So staying with her, we had a whole lot of differences, a whole lot of arguments. Guys, let me get water. But I wouldn't really want to go into details into that, what the misunderstanding was about. At that age, you feel that you are always right, that your parents are wrong. So if you are at that age and you're listening to me, just know that you passed through that phase, and I hope you don't make the mistakes that I did. It was a Friday. I can't remember. It was a Friday, but I don't really remember the particular date, but it was a Friday. So I had a misunderstanding with my mom. I remember my phone was spoiled, and I went to my mom's shop, and I was so pissed off, and I was like, I wanted to leave the house. I didn't plan on leaving the house that day. I had planned earlier on, so any decision that I made that day was something that had been in the pipeline. So that day I couldn't take it anymore. My mom was at work. I was there with my younger siblings, and I just packed my stuffs. Guys, if I show you the luggage that I took with me, so I was in Eastern region in Kwewu then. So like if you're in wherever you are, I was in Ghana. There's a region called Eastern region and a suburb called Kwewu. That is where I come from. I actually left that place to Accra. So on this fateful Friday after the argument, I took my bags and I left. I remember the luggage. So guys, there is the luggage, that heavy luggage. I took it from Kwewu to Accra, not having a phone, not having my own car. So I took a bus from that place to that end. I don't know the distance, but probably I'll check it in the kilometers and post it and add it to this video. I didn't also call my dad. That time my dad was back from his travels. I texted him earlier on, but he didn't see. I think the bus sets off around 5. So around 6:30, I hadn't gotten to my destination yet. In fact, I didn't know where I was going. I was like, I'm a big girl. I thought life hey, life. I thought I could make it on my own. After all, I'm done with senior high school. I'm a big girl, 17 years. I have everything, guys. So I was in the bus around 6:30. Then I saw my dad call, because I actually called him. I took the home phone along. 2 troubles, 1 God. The home phone that my younger siblings were using, I took it along. Around 6:30, I had gotten to a particular place, to Amasaman, and I told my dad that my mom is whatever, and I'm mad and I'm leaving the house. And he was like, before he counts 1 to 3, I should get back and go. And I was like, this man, doesn't he know what I'm going through? So I remember what I did was, I ignored what he said. Then straight up I went. I knew that my dad was my last resort, and so I had to call some friends, and those friends I called till date, I made a mistake. They were toxic people, and I regret them. If they are ever watching it, I'm not saying anything bad against them, but you know, there are some friends you shouldn't actually be friends with them, because they're not going to spoil you, but they are going to have a great influence in your life. I called these people. They were old friends of mine I had met earlier. I actually got lost. That was actually my first time coming to Accra alone. I was 17. I didn't know anyone. Like, come on. I came and I can't remember. I got to wherever I got to. I think before I didn't even get down a circle. If I had gotten down a circle, I think I would have known my way. I got down along the way. And funny enough, my friends, they were Dansuman, and I got lost. I got to a particular place before I called them. They made me take another taxi to a different place. So when I got to the different place, they talked to the driver. I called my friend to tell her that I'm at this particular place, because where I got to, at least there was a landmark. So I told her where I was, and she was like, oh, okay, so you are here. So she told me that I should get a taxi and I should talk to the driver. And I remember the money I had on me was just 50 cedis. I had brought from Kwawu to Accra, thinking I could survive Accra, guys. Thinking I could survive Accra with just 50 cedis. So I called these friends, and they were at Dansuman. There was this pub there, and guys, you know my luggage. You've seen my luggage in the previous. I've shown you guys my luggage. I was with this luggage. Then I went. They were all their friends. I knew a few of them. So luckily, one of my friends had a car. A guy, he had a car, so he made me put my stuffs in his boot. I got to their end around 9 p.m. in the evening. I left Kwawu around 4, got to wherever I was going to around 9 p.m. and they were just there, and I was so disturbed, but all the same, at least I was with friends, so I was cool. After that place, they said they're going to Labadi. I have no option. I don't have a place to sleep. Wherever they go, I go. I hope you understand. If they sleep in the car, I'm also sleeping in the car. So I joined them. We got to Labadi around 10, 11, and we're all there laughing, having fun. And I remember I stepped out. I was really not feeling okay. At that moment, when I got to Labadi Beach with them, I thought, like, that is it. That is the kind of freedom I wanted. No parents telling me what time I can go out, what people I talk to and anything and all this kind of stuff. I thought that was the end of the world. I was having fun. But all of a sudden, I remember I had a call then, so I stepped out from where they were because it was noisy. Then as I was making my call, I overheard someone saying that our mummies are at home praying for us, and look at where we are. Just at that moment, it dawned on me that I've made the biggest mistake of my life by running away from the house.
No! God, please, no! No!
No one knows my whereabouts apart from my dad. He knows that I was in Accra, and he actually said that I wouldn't say what he said. 17 going to 18, I'm a big girl, I can take care of myself. He actually gave me that freedom, so I was like, okay. And the way I suffered in Accra, so I remember we had Labadi Beach. We left there around 5 a.m. and I remember we had to walk. We got to Carnation walking. Where my friends were staying, they were staying around Malang Bawe. That was where they were staying, and I had to be staying with them, and I went to sleep on the floor. Guys, you can imagine. I was there. I was in Accra for 1 week, and I realized the mistake I was making. I was nearly turned into a maid as where I was. While I was staying, the friend I was staying with a friend who was also staying with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend was like not a young girl, like a university graduate, and she was like a woman. I was a girl. The way this lady used me, the way she used me, Jackie, come and do this, Jackie, come and do this. Me, because I was like, if I were to be in my mom's house, I'm a queen, I'm a princess. Just small arguments. No, I take my bag where I don't left. If I tell you the life I lived in their house, I just made a mistake. So I was there one day, money to even buy airtime, I didn't get anything. So I was like, I told myself that if after that 1 week, if no one calls me from home, if I don't hear anything, I'll be going to Kumasi. Most of you who know me knew that I live most of my life in Kumasi. So that is where our house is. Our house is still there, so I could equally even go there. At least I have a place I could call house, a home, and get a work to do, because at least I was an SHS graduate. I could get a work to do. One Saturday, my dad called me. I was filled with fright and happiness at the same time. At least someone cared. I remember I was getting messages on Facebook. I posted a picture on Facebook that I'm missing. I was like, how can I be missing? They were all searching for me, but I was like, girl, I am living the best of my life in Accra, not knowing I was suffering. I had made the biggest mistake of my life. Like, my dad called me and he was like, wherever I am, I should come to wherever he is right now, and where he was staying in Accra. So I went to his place. He said that my mom has been bugging his phone, has been calling him more than 20 times a day, and he can't stand it. So wherever I am, I should take a taxi and come there right now. As soon as, so ASAP, I took my bath, carried my stuff, went to my dad's end, and we talked. Remember that I had made the worst decision of my life for leaving my mom's end, and my dad talked sense to me when I got there, when I got to his end. So I think it was on a Sunday, so we left straight up. We got to my mom's end, we left Accra, we went back to Kwewu with my heavy bag. We went there, and come and see my face. I couldn't even enter the house. My face was like this, and you guys didn't know you are at fault. So I went on my knees and in my language, guys, pardon me for using my language. I want you to know how I went. I was like, Ma, me pacho, me yepio, me nim ne ba me so bonsam. It hurts me so bad. It disappoints you. That is what everyone says. Whenever anything happens, give the blame to the devil. But guys, it was me. That is the whole story of how I ran away from the house. That is when I grew up around 17, and when I was a kid around 5, I also left the house because I thought my grandma was too much, like, as in, do this, do that, like, no. So I left the house. I was also going to my dad to Kumasi. I grew up in Kwewu. I think I was in Kwewu for, let me say, 5 years. That same year I left Kwewu. So I can't remember. I took my stuff. I told a few friends of mine, we were kids, so like I took my things and started walking. This one I didn't even know the car. I remember I was walking, go to this abandoned place. If you have been to Kwewu before, you know it's like a forest zone area, but someone's house was there. So it was a woman and her son, and they asked me where I was going. I told them I was going to Kumasi. A child walking alone to Kumasi.
You serious?
Charlie, this issue I've never told anyone before. I set off and I was going, and this woman took me to her house, and my grandma called the radio station that I was missing. So I was missing the whole day. So in the evening, the woman took me back to my grandma, and that was it. After that one, I was a kid, so I didn't even know what I was doing then. But at age 17, I knew what I was doing. So guys, the moral of this story is, especially to the younger ones out there, especially to people, especially after school, you really want to move out from your parents' house. The morale is, most of the times you feel you want to be on your own, but think about it. If you feel you are really ready, you do it. But if you're also young and you're watching this video, if you're underage, probably senior high school, wherever you are, I am also here to tell you that at that age you think you are right, but you are not right. I've been there before and I know how it feels. Guys, that is the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe after watching. Don't forget to also follow me on all my social media platforms at IdolJackie on Instagram, as SHEJACKIE says on Facebook and Twitter. And let's get interactive. Still your favorite girl, SHEJACKIE says, and I am out.